Israel, the world's only Jewish state located east of the Mediterranean Sea, and Palestine, the territory of the Arab population from Israeli-controlled land, have been locked in an enduring conflict. Thoughtful. The Israeli occupation of the West Bank and Gaza Strip has created tensions that have deteriorated over the years, culminating in numerous violent clashes between both sides. Serious. To understand the root of this conflict, we must examine its origins, dating back thousands of years. Short pause. In the 17th century BC, following God's call, three Jewish patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, settled in Canaan, a region encompassing present-day Israel, the West Bank, Gaza Strip, and parts of Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan. This region became known by various names: the Land of Israel, the Promised Land, the Palestine region, or the Holy Land. In 1000 BC, King Saul established the Israelite monarchy, which was later ruled by King David, who made Jerusalem his capital. His son, King Solomon, built the first temple in Jerusalem. After Solomon's death, the united monarchy split into two kingdoms: the Kingdom of Israel in the north, capital Samaria, and the Kingdom of Judah in the south, capital Jerusalem. The land, initially home to a Jewish majority, faced numerous conquests that significantly reduced the Jewish population. Somber. The Roman Empire conquered the region and renamed Judah as Palestine. Emphatic. Deliberately attempting to sever the Jewish connection to the land of Israel. During Roman rule, Christianity emerged from a Jewish sect and eventually became the dominant religion. In the 7th century, Arab conquest began spreading Islam throughout the region. The Dome of the Rock was built on the ruins of the Second Temple, making Jerusalem sacred to three monotheistic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Grave. After Christians in Jerusalem faced intense persecution by the Seljuk Turks, European Christians launched several crusades to reclaim the Holy City. Somber. During this period, many Jews were killed while others made pilgrimages, primarily to Western Europe. From the 16th century until World War I, the Ottoman Empire, an Islamic superpower, ruled the Holy Land along with much of the Middle East. The region was unofficially called Palestine during this time. Thoughtful. Simultaneously in Europe, increasing numbers of Jews joined the Zionist movement, which aimed to create a Jewish national state in their ancient homeland. In the first decade of the 20th century, tens of thousands of European Jews migrated back to the region. Reflective. World War I ended with the Ottoman Empire's collapse, and its Middle Eastern territories were divided between British and French empires. Britain granted independence to Iraq and Jordan, while the remaining region became the British Mandate for Palestine. Under the Balfour Declaration, tensions escalated between Jews and Arabs, both claiming the land, leading to violent incidents. By the 1930s, increasing Jewish immigration to Palestine, driven by fear of Nazi persecution in Germany, prompted Britain to limit Jewish immigration. In response, Jewish militias formed to fight both Arabs and resist British rule. The Holocaust claimed nearly 6 million Jewish lives throughout Nazi Germany. After the war, more European Jews fled to Palestine seeking a homeland, further escalating tensions with Arabs. Overwhelmed by the situation, Britain began withdrawing from the region. After World War II, the UN proposed partitioning Palestine into two independent states, a Jewish state and an Arab state, with Jerusalem becoming an international zone. However, the plan granted 56.5% of the land to Jews, who comprised only one-third of the population. Arabs rejected this proposal and began forming volunteer armies throughout Palestine. Less than a year later, as Britain completed its withdrawal, Israel declared independence, marking a new, bloodier chapter in the Jewish-Palestinian-Arab struggle. Immediately after Israel's independence declaration, the 1948 Arab-Israeli War erupted. 5 recently independent Arab nations, Egypt, Jordan, Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon, invaded the region attempting to establish a unified Arab Palestine. A ceasefire was reached a year later, with more than two-thirds of historic Palestine, including West Jerusalem, belonging to Israel. Jordan occupied East Jerusalem and the West Bank, while Egypt occupied the Gaza Strip. Consequently, over 750,000 Palestinians were expelled from lands they had inhabited for centuries, a day they call al-Nakba, the catastrophe. Following a period of diplomatic friction and skirmishes between Israel and neighboring Arab states, Jordan, Syria, and Egypt, the Six-Day War broke out in 1967. Israel's victory gave it control over the Golan Heights from Syria, the West Bank and East Jerusalem from Jordan, Gaza, and the Sinai Peninsula from Egypt. The Sinai Peninsula was later returned to Egypt under the Egypt-Israel Peace Treaty. Most Palestinian refugees and their descendants were not allowed to return home and had to live in Gaza, the West Bank, and neighboring Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon. The increasing number of Israeli settlers in Palestinian territories led to the formation of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, in Cairo, Egypt in 1964, aimed at creating a liberated Palestine. The PLO launched attacks on Israel from Jordan, then moved to Lebanon after being forced out, continuing terrorist acts against Israel. Fighting continued for years, including Israel's invasion of Lebanon to expel the PLO from Beirut. The PLO eventually agreed to divide the land between Palestine and Israel, but Jewish settlement in occupied Palestinian territories continued expanding. In 1987, a violent Palestinian uprising began at the Jabalia refugee camp after an Israeli Defense Forces truck collided with two Palestinian civilian vans, killing 4 people. This first Intifada resulted in hundreds of deaths and triggered a peace process culminating in the Oslo Accords signed by Israel and the PLO. The Oslo Accords divided the West Bank into 3 areas. Area A, exclusively Palestinian-controlled. Area B, joint Palestinian-Israeli control. Area C, fully Israeli-controlled. Despite continued peace talks, Israelis and Palestinians couldn't reach agreements on key issues, including Jerusalem's status, refugee rights, and increased Jewish settlement in Palestinian lands. When Ariel Sharon, later Israel's prime minister, visited the Temple Mount, home to the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, many Palestinians deemed this offensive, triggering the Second Intifada. The violence ended with Israel's withdrawal from Gaza, but continued settlement in the West Bank. Hamas, a Sunni Islamist militant group aiming to destroy Israel and create an Islamic state, split from the Palestinian Authority after armed conflict with Fatah, PLO leadership, and gained power in Gaza. Israel imposed a suffocating blockade on Gaza, leading to several bloody wars, including Operation Cast Lead, Operation Pillar of Defense, and Operation Protective Edge. In 2014, Hamas and Fatah reached an agreement to form a national unity government. In 2018, the U.S. Embassy relocated from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, which Palestinians viewed as American support for Jerusalem as Israel's capital. The Israel-Palestine conflict resumed in 2021, with a series of hostile events in East Jerusalem leading to violence, until a ceasefire deal brokered by Egypt, Qatar, and the United Nations took effect on May 21st. Though it may seem peaceful now, this complex and long-lasting territorial dispute between 2 states remains a ticking time bomb that could explode at any time. The conflict's deep historical roots and ongoing disputes over territory, refugees, and religious sites continue to challenge peace efforts in the region.